This is the auxiliary fuel system by DSX Tuning. Alright, let's go over the way the relay is ran. So I ended up putting my DSX box right here with the fuse. I ended up using some Velcro. Got my ground right here, my power in here. As you can see, got the power. The wire crosses over through here. I zip tied it along this hose right here, and I brought it over here. And then this is the map sensor that you connect it to. So basically it just gets teed into it. Let's put that there. Just zip tied everything nicely. And then this wire over here is the wire that goes to the pump in the bottom. Just zip tied it along this ground right here. Brought it down through this area right here where my cooling lines for the intercooler are at. I brought it all the way down there. I just zip tied it along until I got to the bottom. The rest of the parts out for the DSX auxiliary fuel system. Next thing what I'm going to be doing is mounting this fuel pump with the brackets. Got to make some holes. So the instructions show that you line up the template right here underneath this hole. So I drilled my 2 holes. I got 1 bolt holding in the bracket. You can see it in that hole swiveling. So the P-clamp that holds the fuel pump will bolt up to here. All right, as you can see, I got the fuel pump up. So I drilled the 2 holes that holds the bracket that sits underneath this hole. This 10mm, I kind of snugged it so the bracket wouldn't move. And then the top bolt actually holds the clamp down. So there it is. Next thing's gonna be running the fuel lines. This one's gonna be the feed from the tank, and then this one's the one that's gonna return with the adapter fitting. We gotta bring these fuel lines down with this 10mm, and the T goes to this one right here with the blue clip. All right, so this is the T fitting that's gonna go on that fuel line connector over here. This is the adapter fitting that comes in. So basically you just disconnect this blue hose with the blue clips up here on these 2, and then I added the adapter back here, and then this is the return. So the return will come back into here. Just got done plumbing the fuel lines. I got these straight into the fuel filter. This is the feed of the pump, and then this top line right here is the return. It's the one with the fitting, I believe it's like a 160 end on it. This is the one that's going to return to the fuel line adapter where those hard lines are at over here. So the power and ground wire was fed through up there along with my water line. I ended up making a hole right here so I could feed the wire through the frame rail to this side, which this hole was already previously existing. So I just lined it up and I fed the wire through, and I ended up bolting up my power and ground right here. I added a little bit of Loctite to the threads just so they don't loosen up over time with vibration. Make sure you don't snug them too hard as well, because these things will probably snap. Alright, next I'm gonna grab the bracket, and I believe this is a 15mm bolt. This is what's gonna hold the fuel lines up. Alright, got the bracket installed. Added some zip ties along the way. I ended up drilling a hole right here. There was already a hole up here. That way it could secure the line more. Next part we're gonna be doing is the drilling and tapping the gas tank with the fitting that the auxiliary kit sends. This is the sealant or sealer you use. You put it on the threads. This is my drill bit, and this is the tap to make thread pitch on the tank. Alright, so I made my dot. This is where I'll be drilling. I'm gonna grab my drill and make that hole. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but I got a trash can so it can hold all the fuel that comes out. So when you want to do this, you want to ideally try to have the tank as empty as possible. Alright, so I ended up getting the gas tank tapped out. I let it dry overnight. I put the sealer inside the threads of the fitting that gets installed on the tank. As soon as I went 80% of the threads into the tank, I installed the feed line that goes to the fuel pump. I used a crescent to hold this side while I snugged it with a wrench over here. So this line right here is the feed, just goes along here. I zip tied it along with my other fuel lines. Just the bracket, few zip ties, and this is the feed. This is the one that comes from the tank, and this is the return, the one with the more crazier bend on the fuel line. You bring it back to the fitting that DSX provides. This blue clip was originally just clipped into this hard line right here, so I just unclipped it. This one slides over, and then this just slides back into place, and snug this up, and that's it. Pretty much all wrapped up.